Welcome, dear listeners, to another soul-stirring episode of Philosophies for Life. I'm your host, and today I'm thrilled to dive into a timeless story from the teachings of Gautam Buddha, a story that speaks to the heart of human suffering and the impermanence of life's ups and downs. If you've ever found yourself weighed down by sorrow, feeling like the dark clouds will never part, this episode is for you. We're going to explore a profound lesson from the enlightened one himself, a lesson that reminds us that neither joy nor pain lasts forever. So grab a cozy spot, maybe a warm cup of tea, and let's journey together into this ancient wisdom that feels just as relevant today as it did thousands of years ago. Let's begin with the story that inspired today's reflection. Picture this. Gautam Buddha, the embodiment of peace and compassion, encounters a man drowning in despair. This man falls at Buddha's feet, pleading for a way to escape his suffering. Instead of offering a quick fix, Buddha gently invites him to sit close and says, "You are troubled by fleeting worries. Happiness and sorrow are not permanent. Let me share a story with you. Listen with an open heart." And with that, Buddha weaves a tale of a generous merchant, a Seth, who lived in a bustling town. This merchant was known for his kindness. Nobody left his doorstep empty-handed. One day, a stranger approached him with a peculiar slip of paper to sell. On it was written a simple truth: nothing lasts forever. Without hesitation, the merchant bought it and tied it to the edge of his turban, as if to keep this reminder close. Now, this merchant wasn't without enemies. Some envious folks in the town conspired against him, complaining to the king, who had him thrown into prison. Days turned into weeks, and the merchant's spirit began to crumble under the weight of his misfortune. But one day, as he sat in his cell, his fingers brushed against that slip of paper tied to his turban. He untied it, read the words again, "Nothing lasts forever," and a realization dawned on him. If happy days don't last, then neither do the painful ones. A laugh burst out of him, loud and unstoppable, echoing through the prison. The guards thought he'd lost his mind and reported it to the king. When the king arrived and asked what was so funny, the merchant shared his epiphany. Why do we despair? Just as joyous days pass, so do the days of sorrow. Life is a cycle of both. Moved by this wisdom, the king released him, and the merchant returned home, living with a newfound peace, knowing that neither happiness nor suffering is permanent. When Buddha finished this story, the troubled man felt a weight lift from his heart. He understood that his pain too would pass. With a bow of gratitude, he took Buddha's blessings and walked back to his life with renewed hope. Let's pause here for a moment, friends. Isn't this story a mirror to our own lives? How often do we get caught in the storm of our emotions, thinking that our struggles define us forever? Buddha's teaching here echoes a universal truth found in many traditions. Think of the famous quote from the ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita: "Change is the law of the universe." You can be a millionaire or a pauper in an instant. Or even the simple wisdom of the Greek philosopher Heraclitus, who said, "The only constant in life is change." These words remind us that life is a river, ever flowing, never static. And yet, how often do we cling to the highs or dread the lows as if they'll last forever? Let's reflect deeper on this idea of impermanence. Spiritually, it's a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, anicca, the understanding that everything is transient. Whether it's a moment of heartbreak or a peak of joy, it's just a passing cloud in the vast sky of our existence. I remember a time in my own life when I lost a job I loved. I felt like the ground had been pulled from under me. I couldn't see a way out, and every day felt heavier than the last. But one evening, as I sat watching the sunset, I realized that just as the sun dips below the horizon only to rise again, my life too would find its dawn. And it did. A new opportunity came, unexpected and even better. That experience taught me what Buddha's story teaches us. Pain isn't permanent, and neither is pleasure. Holding on to either too tightly only breeds more suffering. This philosophy touches every aspect of our lives. In relationships, we often fear loss or conflict, but understanding impermanence can help us cherish the present without being paralyzed by the what-ifs. Financially, it reminds us not to despair during tough times. Markets shift, opportunities arise. Emotionally, it's a lifeline. When anxiety or sadness grips us, we can whisper to ourselves, "This, too, shall pass," and find the strength to keep going. So, how can we apply this ancient wisdom to our modern, hectic lives? Let me share 3 practical takeaways with you. First, cultivate mindfulness. Take 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Notice how they come and go, like waves on a shore. This practice can ground you in the reality of impermanence, helping you not get swept away by life's storms. Second, keep a reminder of change close to you, just like the merchant did with his slip of paper. Maybe write, "This too shall pass," on a sticky note and put it on your desk or mirror. Let it be your anchor when emotions run high. And third, practice gratitude in every season of life. When times are good, savor them fully, knowing they won't last. When times are tough, be grateful for the lessons they bring, trusting that brighter days are ahead. Let me tell you, friends, I've seen this work wonders. A listener once wrote to me about how she was struggling with a painful divorce. She felt like her world had ended, but after hearing a similar episode on resilience, she started journaling every night, writing down one thing she was grateful for, no matter how small. Over time, she noticed her perspective shifting. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but it became bearable. She realized her life wasn't over. It was just changing. And today, she's thriving, rediscovering herself in ways she never thought possible. As we wrap up today's episode, let's carry forward the essence of Buddha's teaching. Life is a dance of light and shadow, and neither lasts forever. Whether you're in a season of joy or wrestling with sorrow, remember the merchant's epiphany. Nothing is permanent. Let this truth free you from the chains of despair and the illusion of endless happiness. Take a deep breath with me right now. Inhale hope, exhale fear. Trust that whatever you're facing, it's just a chapter, not the whole story. I encourage you to reflect this week. How can you embrace impermanence in your life? Maybe jot down a moment of struggle and remind yourself it won't last. Or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Let's spread this wisdom together. Thank you for joining me on Philosophies for Life. Until next time, keep walking your path with courage and an open heart. Namaste.